Welcome to episode 10 of our series Sands of Time. On the previous episode, we saw how the Egyptians were able to discover the power of the sun and use solar energy to build the pyramids. The Egyptians, in their wisdom, knew the universe was woven with mathematics. It wasn't merely numbers and geometry, it was the language of the cosmos, the divine code that connected humanity to nature, the stars, and the gods themselves. This sacred understanding resonated through their every action, their every stone. In their hands, numbers became sacred. Geometry became something beyond practical. It was mystical. The cubit, the meter, pi, and phi, universal constants, echoed in the stones of their temples, their cathedrals, their pyramids. Buildings like these were more than mere monuments. They were bridges between earth and heaven. Their walls hummed with this hidden harmony, and anyone stepping inside felt it. Nowhere else on earth, however, is there anything quite like the Pyramid of Khufu, a masterpiece beyond comprehension. In his 311-page work, The Chamber of Khufu, Gilles Domillon managed to express his admiration for this wonder in just 4 simple sentences. It would be futile to look for traces of improvisation, modifications, or imperfections. From floor to ceiling, everything is perfectly executed. 1,500 tons of granite from Aswan, carried by human chains, lifted block by block, weighing no more than 40 kilograms each. Yet these simple men achieved something that, today, we might still call impossible. The sarcophagus, the tunnel openings, the perfectly aligned shafts, all laid with precision, guided by the stars themselves. Imagine the sheer ingenuity. The sarcophagus, constructed first, was fitted with a sliding cover, designed to seal the king's chamber with a precision that allowed no mistake. And so too did Khafra, following in the footsteps of Khufu, adopt this ingenious solution for his own tomb. Molten granite. It sounds almost like a fable. But for the Egyptians, this was reality. With clay molds and beams, they formed the shafts and walls of the chamber. Days later, once cooled, the clay was removed, revealing granite walls so perfect, the idea of cutting them with primitive tools seems impossible. Yet the method was simple. Nature had given them the power of the sun, and they used it. Granite became molten, and in just a few months, the chamber was complete. The stars, always the stars. The shafts of the king's chamber, aligned with such precision, pointed toward the sacred constellations of Orion and Sirius. One to honor the king's journey to the afterlife, the other to immortalize the reign of the great ruler. At 39 degrees 49 minutes, the middle chamber shaft directed its gaze towards Sirius, and Al-Nilam, the heart of Orion, stood waiting for the king's final journey. Coincidence, some may say, but how could this be? The precision was breathtaking, a knowledge of astronomy that rivals our modern understanding. The Egyptians not only knew the stars, they understood their dance across the sky, their movements, their shifts over time. They immortalized the heavens in stone, locking the moment in eternity, and thus we know the date of the pyramid's construction, somewhere between 2560 and 2550 BC. 50 years earlier or later, and the shafts would have missed their celestial targets. But time. The Egyptians had mastered even time itself, the clepsydra, known to us as the water clock. Long before mechanical clocks, they divided the day into 24 hours, measuring time with water. The knowledge of the universe and its cycles was theirs, and they wielded it with a precision that resonates through time. The workers carried on, filling the space around the king's chamber, closing the southern shaft. The beams were cast one by one, yet today we see cracks in the granite beams. Some claim it happened long after construction, that the pressure became too great. But the truth lies in the stone itself. The granite, still cooling, may have reacted to the pressure, leaving traces of burns. Or perhaps, during the handling of the molds, something shifted. But here is the crucial truth. These beams, these colossal stones, they weren't cut. They were poured, and the traces of wood found by Jean-Pierre Houdin show us the formwork. the careful casting of molten stone, not primitive carving. The shafts, 4 of them, aligned with such precision, could only be constructed from top to bottom. They could only have been built with foresight, with a plan crafted years in advance. As the pyramid rose, height was measured with a meticulousness that leaves no room for doubt. At each stage, the workers poured, filled, and climbed, raising the monument cubit by cubit until they reached the heavens. And finally, the grand gallery, its incline, the cantilevered arch, a marvel in itself. To achieve this, they built a movable carriage mold. 7 levels high, the scaffold guided the workers as they filled the space with limestone. Slowly, methodically, they raised the gallery, filling it from the sides as they climbed. The mold traveled once from the bottom to the top, leaving the marks we still see today. After 20 long years, the pyramid stood complete. The final stone, the pyramidion, was placed with great ceremony. Khufu the king, his architect Hemunu, and the people gathered below looked up with pride and joy. Their labor, their devotion, had reached its climax. For the Egyptians, this was more than a tomb. It was a message carved in stone and written in the language of the stars and mathematics, a monument to their king, to their knowledge, and to their connection with the divine universe. The Great Pyramid, the eternal embodiment of their wisdom, stands not just as a testament to their engineering, but to their understanding of the cosmos, a knowledge that still humbles us today. The secrets of the universe, etched in stone for all time, a legacy not of brute force but of the mind and spirit. The Great Pyramid, Khufu's eternal journey among the stars. Please click on the video showing up on your screen for episode 11, and as always, keep wising up.